feeling like I'm trapped in my damn mind. Tell the feeling like I'm rapping a damn lie. Tell the feeling like my life is a damn game.
Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a science fiction film, Immortal, ad VITAM. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. In 2095, a giant stone pyramid has appeared out of thin air and hovers over New York City. Horus, an ancient Egyptian sun god with a falcon head and big breast, is trapped within it. He has been charged with a crime of rebellion and punished by fellow deities to terminate his immortality. He is given 7 days to revisit the earth. But Horus decides to leave his legacy behind. In order to achieve that goal, Horus must possess a human body and procreate with a chosen woman within 1 week. At this time, New York City is occupied by aliens, mutants, cybernetically or genetically modified human beings with artificial organs. However, Horus is so picky that he cannot find a suitable human host to inhabit. Those bodies which are once possessed by Horus explode from inside immediately after he leaves. The inspector responsible for investigating the series of abnormal deaths are clueless. Meanwhile, Horus has killed 7 men and transformed into a big-breast eagle to wander around the city. The appearance of a pyramid has caused great anxiety for citizens. Rumors say that it might be a strategy of the corrupt senator. Meanwhile, the largest pharmaceutical firm of New York is gathering special humans for some research studies. Jill is one of the captives. She's a pretty lady with blue hair and white face, but with zero knowledge of her origin. She cannot remember who she is or where she comes from. She could shed blue tears, and her body built is different. The doctor is particularly interested in Jill and brings her back to her own clinic. The doctor warmly embraces Jill and wishes to garner her support for the research study. In return for Jill's favor, the doctor would help her get a new identity and settle down in New York. Jill accepts the offer and shares the news with her mentor. Mentor encourages her to slowly adapt to human lives. Coincidentally, while Horus continues to search for a suitable body, he bumps into a suspended frozen prison dropped from the sky due to mechanical errors. Even though policemen investigate the situation timely, they are attacked by servants from the pharmaceutical firm. The firm takes away 2 prisoners from the frozen storage, but they miss out Nikopol, who breaks his leg. As the temperature increases and ice thaws, Nikopol, who has been hibernating for 30 years, awakes from his sleep. His body is intact without going through any genetic modification, something Horus yearns for. So Horus haunts Nikopol and takes him to safety. Soon after, Inspector arrives at the scene. He discovers the piece of broken leg and realizes that 3 of his officers are nowhere to be found. When he meets the senator, he throws the broken leg to Senator, demanding him to solve the problem. In Inspector's opinion, Senator is the mastermind behind all these troubles. Senator's staff identifies Nikopol through the broken leg DNA. This causes great anxiety for Senator, for Nikopol knows of many secrets about Senator's family, which include Senator's dirty play with a pharmaceutical firm. That is why Nikopol was captured and jailed. On the other hand, Horus has brought Nikopol to a desolate subway station and reveals his true identity. Nikopol recognizes him and even recalls his legend, but pains cut Nikopol's trail of thoughts, and he groans in sorrow. Horus does not regard such an injury to be an issue. He breaks a metal bar and crafts a replacement for Nikopol's severed leg. Nikopol tries to take a few steps, but stumbles from time to time. Without supernatural power, Nikopol cannot even move an inch. It is obvious that he needs Horus' help, so he has to allow Horus to stay within him. Meanwhile, Jill moves into a hotel to receive the doctor's treatment. She begins to taste various kinds of food and notes down her reaction to them. The blue crust on her head is undergoing some changes. In order to prevent Nikopol from revealing their dark secrets, Senator deploys his force to catch Nikopol. By the power of Horus, Nikopol manages to escape gunshots and spreads his wings to flee away. Senator is determined to wipe out Nikopol, so that no one would know of his heinous deeds. He turns to the pharmaceutical firm for help. The firm immediately sends out its powerful invention, a cruel killing machine named Hunter. Horus also proceeds with his plan through Nikopol. He orders Nikopol to drink at a bar. Although Nikopol does not fully understand Horus' intention, he hangs out in the bar according to his words. Sometime later, Jill shows up at the same place. She steps into a secret room and changes into the astronaut's attire. There, she meets Mentor again, an ancient being who has freely traveled across the universe. This time around, Mentor reveals to Jill her origin. Mentor often guides people to various places of the galaxies, but a group of them are teleported to the wrong venue due to some unusual changes in the universe. Jill might well be one of them, and she ends up being an intruder to Earth. 3 months earlier, she was found in the intrusion center of Central Park. And the intrusion center is the gateway to outer space. This is how Mentor discovers her and takes care of her until now. He prepares some blue pills for Jill to help her transform and settle down on Earth. As soon as Jill could blend into the human lives, Mentor will accomplish his mission and depart from her. Knowing that Mentor would leave her one day, Jill decides to drown her sorrows with alcohol. However, her body is immune to alcohol. So when Nikopol drops by to initiate a conversation, she firmly rejects him with a poker face. But Horace changes her mind through his spiritual power. Suddenly, Jill feels dizzy and is brought back to the hotel. Horace has aroused their desire for one another and instigated them to release their boiling. On the same night, Hunter slays the policeman who monitors Nikopol and takes his memory chip back to the pharmaceutical firm. Checking his memory, Senator and the pharmaceutical firm find out that Nikopol and Jill are dating in the bar. Inspector also recovers the missing data from his deceased fellow and gets the same information. Following such a discovery, Nikopol and Jill are now on his investigation list. The next day, when Jill wakes up, she spots a few black feathers on the bed. Just when she cannot figure it out, someone comes to knock on the door. The hotel manager comes along with the pharmaceutical firm servants to capture Nikopol. To their disappointment, Nikopol vanishes like thin air. Although they walk around, they cannot find a trace of the man, not even his smelly hormones. Jill also denies seeing such a smelly man in the room. Therefore, their surprise visit proves futile, and they have to leave without any choice. Right after Jill closes the door, she sees the bathroom door appearing before her eyes. When the manager is around, there is no such a door. Jill dashes into the bathroom and threatens Nikopol to identify himself, pointing the weapon at him. Horace takes all the questions, putting his words into Nikopol's mouth. Though Jill attacks him, he easily shuns it. After the confrontation, Jill leaves the hotel. Nikopol comes to his senses and is totally angry with the involuntary hormone game Horace forced them to do last night. He shouts at Horace, facing the mirror. Without Jill's presence, Nikopol and Horace have a chance to talk things out. No matter how hard Nikopol tries, Horace cannot comprehend why Nikopol would get agitated over such a matter. In a fury, Nikopol refuses to assist Horace with his pursuit. But he soon realizes that he is in no position to negotiate with Horace. Without Horace, he cannot even walk properly. He has no way to survive from Senator's tireless pursuit. Working with Horace is the wise thing to do now. Jill visits an old museum, where she receives her first human sexual enlightenment. While she watches hot steaming scenes, Hunter snatches her away. The pharmaceutical firm decides to bring back Jill, but Horace, who has been following her, suddenly shows up and crushes their plan. Unleashing his superpower, he easily wipes out everyone on the ship and takes Jill back to the hotel. Jill remains unconscious, and Horace erases her memory. Horace asks Nikopol to help him get a child through Jill. Though Nikopol is unaware of Horace's plan, he finds Jill pretty and attractive. Fascinated, he confesses his love to Jill over wine. However, when they are right in the hormone game, Jill is scared by his artificial leg. Noting her hesitation and fear, Horace again exercises his spiritual power to control them. With his interference, Nikopol and Jill get down and dirty again. 2 minutes later, at the icy cold Central Park, Jill meets up with Mentor once again. In freezing snow, she tells Mentor her feelings towards Nikopol. Mentor knows why Jill feels troubled. He suggests that Jill should not suppress her feelings to Nikopol. He shrewdly points out that Jill does not love him, but merely trusts him and depends on him. At the same time, Nikopol loses his temper before Horace when he learns that Jill has departed. It takes him a long time to explain how frustrated he is with Horace's reckless actions. However, Horace remains out of the picture. As they continue to quarrel, Horace hangs Nikopol up on the wall. As soon as he is released, Nikopol seeks Jill's understanding. They have a heartfelt talk in the bathroom. Kneeling down before the bathtub, Nikopol apologizes to Jill, and his gentleness is paid off. Jill forgives him and sheds blue tears. The bathtub water turns blue. To take Jill out from the bathtub, Nikopol dips in his hand and dyes it blue as well. At last, the two souls come together in nasty flesh and gracious spirit. Later, when Horace discovers that Jill has conceived a baby, he expresses his gratitude to Nikopol. Actually, Jill has the power to procreate with deity, one amazing ability which she does not know. Through her, Horace is able to continue his bloodline and leave his legacy behind. At this moment in time, Hunter has arrived at Jill's apartment through the sewer line. Mentor comes to fetch Jill, and luckily, she boards his car in time. The doctor also visits the apartment along with Inspector. Right then, a fast and furious journey takes place. When Mentor learns of Horace, he brings them to the Central Park of Intrusion Center. He feeds Jill with a red pill that allows her to completely transform into human body. Having accomplished his mission, Mentor flies away from the Earth. On the other hand, Nikopol fights against Hunter and kills it with the help of Horace. When the time is up, the Egyptian deity withdraws the pyramid from the Earth. Senator wants to touch it, and so is sucked inside. Needless to say, Senator is terminated right away. After Senator's death, Horace is given time to bid farewell with Nikopol. As a token of appreciation, Horace has given Nikopol some of his spiritual power, so that he can move freely with his steel leg. Other than that, he also rewrites Jill's memory, so that she can live her life without any burden. In the end, Horace flaps his wings away from the Earth, following the pyramid. Behind him, Jill looks in confusion. She has remembered nothing about Horace. Later, Nikopol is captured by policemen and serves his sentence in jail. Sometime later, when he returns to Jill, she has already delivered a fat baby. Nikopol has become a famous author. Together with Jill, he witnesses the blue-haired baby boy turning into a big-breast eagle. Nikopol knows by heart that the fat baby is Horace descendant, which shows that Horace's ardent wish is finally granted. In Nikopol's affectionate gaze, Jill recites a poem. Nikopol continues with the lines from where she stops. As if he could feel the love of this couple, Horace sheds tears in the coffin, and finally rests in peace. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.